Next up, 4:25 p.m. Eastern, Seattle Seahawks 3-3, 1-2 on the road at the LA Chargers, 4-2, 2-1 at home. We're at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. We will start here with the line history. We have these Chargers opening up at Pinnacle. Now, I know there were other books offshore that put this line out earlier. Pinnacle waited till this morning, and it's Chargers -6. But I know that there was a 7.5 before we saw the game go down last night. From a total perspective, it opened up at 51.5 -106 to the pick'em, and now it's juiced to the under. So let's take a look at the cash flow here in this one. We have 5,396 tickets in, 86% of the tickets, 93% of the cash on the Seattle Seahawks. And then we have 33% of the tickets on the over and 58% of cash on the over. Seahawks coming off a 19-9 home win over the Cardinals to get earn a share of first place in the NFC West.
Yeah.
Geno Smith, 20 of 31 for 197 yards. He also ran 6 times for 48 yards. Kenneth Walker's first career start replacing Penny. Walker looked good. He ran 21 times for 97 yards. The touchdown, caught 2 passes for 13 yards. Noah Fant led receivers with 6 catches for 45 yards. D. Eskridge was next with 3 catches for 39. And DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett had very quiet games. The defense was strong. They didn't allow Cardinals to finish drives. They finished with 6 sacks and 7 quarterback hits. Tariq Woolen had an interception. So this was the league, and is the league's worst run defense. And they had a slight reprieve against the Cardinals, who were missing their top 3 running backs, but they got gashed by Kyler Murray for 100 yards. But Benjamin and Keontae Ingram combined for 18 carries for 44 yards. They rank 30th in opponent yards per play. Let's see what the guys are saying. Spenny says Chargers smack them. Coin says, like Chargers here to get the win before their bye. The home team prior to a bye angle solid. Ed Searfoss also liking the Superchargers -6.5. But Gerald Jones says, how do the Chargers fix that O-line by Sunday? And that's my thought here. The Chargers are a beat-up group on a short week. They come in off a 1916 home win over the Broncos. Now, we do know the first way they're going to do that, and that's because Corey Linsley was sick.
Yeah.
That was just sick. So we got to expect that, he'll be back in, and that will fix the problems here. Herbert, 37 of 57 for 238 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. 57 attempts without a TD pass is an NFL record in a win. 26-game TD pass streak was snapped. Joshua Palmer, 9 catches for 57 yards. Parham caught 3 for 53. Eckler ran 14 for 36, and the touchdown caught 10 for 47. And Keenan Allen remained inactive. Dustin Hopkins kicked 4 field goals despite injuring his hamstring. And the Chargers defensively were strong despite missing Bosa and others. They finished with 4 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, and Joshua Kelly suffered a knee injury, and I couldn't get an update on that. Take it away for us here, Andy. Seahawks, Chargers, SoFi.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the Denver game and like how good this Denver defense is. It is wild how far, what a big difference we have between the defense and the offense. I have Denver as the 4th worst offense in the league. So it's like, yeah, it was a good performance, but you didn't impress me by beating or keeping a really bad offense to, limited to this. So I want to bet the over a little, even though it's the highest total on the board. I'm going to stay away from that. It's crazy. If you'd have said this before the season started, before we knew anything, saying like, we're going from the Broncos to the Seahawks, and it's going to be, you're going from Russell Wilson last week to Geno Smith, and it is a big upgrade in the offense you're about to face. Because the Seattle offense has been kind of wildly efficient, and it's just kind of working. It's a top 10 offense. I mean, as far as just grading efficiencies, and it is a bad defense. So it's a couple of bad defenses, really. The Chargers, again, it wasn't impressive. You did it against the Broncos. Everybody should keep the Broncos to like 15 points. They're just that bad at this point. And I really think we see Kenny Walker get it going. You saw what the Browns were able to do against the Chargers on the ground. Like the Chargers, that's an absolute leak. I don't know why the Broncos didn't run more. I love that they benched Gordon. Like that was the right call, but I would have ran the ball more. I'd run the ball a lot. So I do worry a little on this. This over is a little high for that sort of game plan. But yeah, it's one of those where I have to stay off because I want to bet the Seahawks. And at the same time, I believe they're getting too high in the market. They're starting to hit the top of their range. So Seahawks, if this gets out to 7, I will have a Seahawks ticket.
That makes sense to me. That makes sense.
I mean,
to me.
it's 6 in a lot of places. I doubt it, but hard lean to the Seahawks. I think they're able to move the ball. Not only it's not going to all be on Geno and those receivers. They're going to be able to run the ball with some ease against this Chargers defense at this point. And yeah, so even if the secondary is playing well for the Chargers, you're going to be able to run. Like, you're going to have to stack the boxes and put guys out on an island with DK. And if there's a team that maybe can do that, it is the Chargers. But this is actually kind of a tough test for them right now. So it's a sketchy game.
Yeah, it's certainly a sketchy game. But you're under the belief that Lindsley comes back this week and the offensive line is fixed.
Yeah. Not fixed, but at least they're not starting Storm Norton. Like, it could be worse.
Terry Walker looking at the over. Spenny Pennybomb saying Asante Samuel Jr. looking like his dad out there, guy becoming shut down. And Birdie as well saying this Chargers secondary is good enough to hold down the Seahawks wide receivers. I'm taking the bait Chargers for me here. I'm going to need more time on this one because I've got the bias of last night in my head, and it just fills me with rage.